Thaddeus Blackwood watched their crystalline ships descend through Seattle's perpetual drizzle, his Belgian Cipher pressed against his leg. The alien vessels pulsed with bioluminescent patterns beautiful, if you could ignore their purpose. All Earth's domesticated species must be relocated for preservation and study, the announcement echoed across every device capable of producing sound. The Yith'kari Collective has determined that human influence has corrupted their natural evolution. Resistance will result in immediate termination. But Cipher's ears flattened against his head. Thaddeus ran his fingers through the dog's fur, feeling the tense muscles beneath. After losing his wife in a car accident 2 years ago, Cipher had become more than just a pet. He was the reason Thaddeus kept going. "They don't understand, do they, boy?" he whispered. The first collection attempts began in the residential districts. Hovering retrieval drones, shaped like elongated teardrops, descended into backyards and through open windows. Their crystalline surfaces rippled with purple energy as they activated their stasis fields. But something unexpected happened in the Ravenna neighborhood. Zara Mitchell, a 70-year-old retired veterinarian, was walking her 3 rescue cats on leashes when a drone approached. Instead of freezing in the stasis field, her cats moved with practiced precision. Jasper, the one-eyed tabby, darted between her legs as she ducked. Phantom, the black cat, leaped onto her shoulders, while Storm, the gray Persian, positioned himself between her and the drone. The Yith'kari drone sensors couldn't lock onto any single target with the perfectly choreographed movement. Before it could adjust, Zara had already ducked into a nearby coffee shop, her cats moving like extensions of her own body. Similar reports began flooding the emergency broadcast channels. In Chicago, a K-9 unit led by Officer Callahan and his German shepherd, Havoc, had successfully disabled 3 collection drones. The footage showed handler and dog moving in perfect sync, anticipating each other's movements with uncanny precision. "Impossible," the Yith'kari observers reported back to their command ship. The neural patterns suggest sophisticated tactical coordination. These cannot be mere pets. But the true turning point came when they targeted the Sunset District Pet Shelter. Thaddeus arrived just as the collection ships descended. Inside, shelter manager Pike de la Cruz was already mobilizing. The former Marine had transformed the shelter into an impromptu fortress, and every animal from the smallest hamster to the largest Great Dane seemed to understand the gravity of the situation. "I think we've corrupted them," Pike said, checking the makeshift barricades. "They don't understand. We evolved together." Around him, dogs of all breeds took up strategic positions, while cats positioned themselves on high vantage points. Even the parrots had gone quiet, as if sensing the need for stealth. The first breach came through the skylight. As crystalline drones poured in, the shelter erupted into organized chaos. A 3-legged pit bull named Warrior moved in perfect tandem with Pike, protecting his blind side. Cats launched themselves from shelving units with surgical precision, clawing at the drone's sensitive sensor arrays. Thaddeus and Cipher fell into their own rhythm, a dance practiced through countless training sessions. The Malinois anticipated his every move, herding smaller animals to safety while Thaddeus disabled Drone, after Drone with an EMP device he'd rigged from old police equipment. What truly shocked the Yith'kari observers was the unprecedented level of interspecies cooperation. Cats guided blind dogs to safety, larger dogs created defensive formations around smaller animals. Even the rodents played their part, hamsters and gerbils chewing through drone power cables when they crashed. "Remarkable," transmitted one Yith'kari scientist, Yorith, to the command ship. "The neural synchronization is beyond anything in our databases. This isn't just training, it's genuine cognitive evolution." The battle for the shelter lasted 3 hours. When the drones finally retreated, not a single animal had been taken. The Yith'kari had lost 27 collection units. But the real surprise came the next morning. Thaddeus woke to Cipher's urgent barking. Outside his apartment, a massive crowd had gathered, humans with their pets, all moving toward the city center. What started as a handful of people swelled into thousands. Dogs walked unleashed, but perfectly controlled. Cats rode shoulders serving as lookouts, and birds circled overhead in coordinated patterns. At the front of the crowd, Pike rode his modified motorcycle, Warrior in the sidecar. Behind them, Zara's cats had somehow organized a network of strays into an early warning system. Officer Callahan and Havoc coordinated with other K-9 units, creating a protective perimeter. The Yith'kari command ship hovered above the Space Needle, its crystalline surface reflecting the dawn. As the crowd approached, their lead scientist, Yorith, requested direct contact. Through floating holographic displays, Yorith addressed the gathering. "We do not understand." Our studies showed Earth's creatures were simple beings in need of protection from human interference. Thaddeus stepped forward, Cipher at his side. You studied them in isolation, he said. You never bothered to understand what we've built together. As if to emphasize his point, a cat named Shadow leapt onto his shoulder, while a rescued hawk named Anis landed on his outstretched arm. Look around you, Pike added, scratching Warrior behind the ears. Every animal here chose to stay and fight. Not because we forced them, but because we spent thousands of years building trust, understanding, and love. Azara's cats demonstrated their point by performing a complex series of coordinated movements that the Yith'kari sensors showed required near telepech levels of synchronization. We didn't corrupt their evolution, she explained. We evolved together, shaped by the bonds we forged. The Yith'kari observers were silent for a long moment. Their sensors mapped the neural patterns between humans and animals, revealing intricate webs of emotional and tactical coordination that defied their previous understanding of interspecies relationships. In all our studies across 17 galaxies, the Earth finally transmitted, we have never encountered anything like this. We came to preserve what we thought were endangered species, but instead we found something unprecedented, true symbiotic evolution. The collection ships began powering down their stasis fields. Across the city, across the world, the Yith'kari withdrew their drones. Their final transmission was brief. We came to study Earth's animals. Instead, we learned that humanity's greatest achievement was not in dominating other species, but in forming genuine partnerships with them. This world is under our protection, now not from humanity, but because of it. As the crystalline ships ascended into the morning sky, Thaddeus looked down at Cipher, who wagged his tail and licked his hand. Around them, the crowd began to disperse, humans and animals moving together with the easy synchronization of longtime dance partners. They never stood a chance, did they, boy? Thaddeus smiled, scratching Cipher's ears. In the days that followed, the Yith'kari's reports spread across the galaxy. Earth became known not as a world of separate species, but as a shining example of true cooperative evolution. Its humans and their animal companions had demonstrated something powerful, that the strongest bonds in the universe aren't forged through dominance or control, but through trust, love, and the simple choice to face challenges together. And in Seattle, Thaddeus Blackwood still takes his daily walks with Cipher, occasionally nodding to the crystalline observation satellite that tracks the ongoing evolution of Earth's remarkable partnership. Sometimes, if you look closely, you can see it pulse with a color that the Yith'kari used to denote wonder.